You're going to have to forgive me for the audio on this. I know, I need to get a microphone. I know. I'll get one. Please bear with me. So I think that we are seeing, what I've noticed, and maybe it's just me, I tend to notice the negative in everything. It's just a product of the environments that I've been in, product of what I've seen. I happen to notice that now, whenever there's these quote-unquote mass deals at these places of indoctrination, that the crazy person is always on they're always, one of these people who are allegedly on some kind of psychotropic drug. Then the arms they are carrying are always the arms that are being battled about throughout the country between the government and the people. In this case, apparently is a female, possibly tranny, carries in 2 long rifles, one of them an AR pistol with a brace. They had to add that it had a brace, and a semi-automatic pistol. Technically, she had 2 semi-automatic pistols. One had a brace. First of all, I think that these arguments need to be flipped on their head. I would argue that the brace does nothing to increase the lethality of these guns, because look, she only killed 3 people. All that firepower, she killed 3 people. I mean, what happened to, increasing the lethality of these weapons, making them like, John Wick weapons? We're living in a time when, we are seeing it happen, people. We are living through the revolution, but there's no fucking revolution. We're living through the time of, men saying they've had enough, yet men are not acting on that have had enough. And I'm there too. It's me too. And we all use the same excuse. The biggest problem today in that aspect is that even if you do something just, even if you lash out in some way, it is completely justified in every way, and you do good. When they kill you, and they're going to, they will. Government thugs will. They call themselves cops. They actually call themselves police officers. No, you're fucking pigs. That's what you are. You're swine. Worse than swine. But anyway, when they kill you, you'll be passed off as a criminal, and nobody else is going to do anything. Nobody's going to keep that ball rolling. And that's the holdup. I think that's the holdup for a lot of people too. I think that if there's a lot of people that, if they knew that other people would stand behind them or stand with them or follow in their footsteps of doing what's right, nothing more, doing what's right, that they'd be more prone to act upon and do what's right. We see government-sponsored terrorism every day in this country, every single day. Yet these clowns who are terrorizing us are deemed heroes by the massive hordes of sheep. You have one that's lost so far, his head so far up his ass, you don't know what to do. He is the boot, yet talks about people being bootlickers. Makes no sense. He's a constitutionalist who takes funds that have been extorted from the people. Yeah, it's kind of not very constitutional there, buddy. You're going to look back 2 decades from now and wish that you had done something when you had a chance, because I can assure you the point will come where you have no chance. You have no chance to even stand up and say, no, I've had enough. And by that time, people like me will be exiled, will be caged. They'll, kick in our doors and find some obscure reason for the public to hate us, to not support us, because these pigs who terrorize people every day will make up some shit that as we know, they always do. Thousands of videos on YouTube of these fuckers conspiring against the people. I watched one today where the cops clearly huddled up, as they always do when they, kidnap somebody. And then they decide the best way to get the most out of this slave for the next however many years as their estate slave in the prison industrial complex, which is a multi-billion-dollar business. But nobody wants to talk about that either. They just want to ignore it because it doesn't affect us. Only criminals go to prison. Only bad people go to prison, which is just also isn't true. You know, like, where's your line? Don't tell me. Tell yourself. Genuinely, where is your line? You know, we all play the game to a certain degree. Where is your line where you will no longer play? These people have declared war against you, yet you're not fighting back. Millions of people who carry guns to fight criminals, to stop the threat, then support the threat. They don't stop the threat when the threat's on the side of the road harassing somebody or kidnapping somebody, ticketing them for making a choice that only affects them. No, it's, we are government, you will obey, or else we'll extort you, or else we'll kidnap you, or else we'll jail you, or else we'll take everything you own. You know, that pig today, I didn't even realize it until after the facts. Mike, this truck is in somebody's name with the same last name as mine. The tags on it have the tag, the plate number on it for the actual sticker. The sticker actually has the plate number on it. I hear him run it, and I hear it come back to that person's name. My license is in his hand. My name is clearly the same as that person's. Yet he demands my registration. Why? Because he can look at the VIN. He wants to check the VIN and make sure that these tags belong to this truck, even though the tags belong to a white and black Ford F-250 crew cab. Identical truck, identical in every way. He wants to double check it. Why? Hunting expedition. Because everybody's guilty of something. Everybody. And now you have these little 24-year-old kids like this pig today who thinks he has some kind of magical authority over a 42-year-old man like myself. And then it's the threats. You're going to pay $130 because you chose not to wear a seatbelt, even though nobody was harmed, not even yourself. And he's doing it to protect us, guys. He's saving lives. Although I clearly told him that nothing you're going to do is going to dictate anything that I do. If I wear seatbelts because I want to, not because you're telling me to, but just to prove the point. Jesus Christ, this road sucks. But just to prove the point, now that, you know, I was told I have to because daddy government tells me to, I'm not going to wear a seatbelt for 4 years. I'm sure I will. There's certain places I always wear my seatbelt just because I've learned my lesson about high rates of speed and sudden stops with no seatbelts. That is the second state highway patrol, one in Tennessee and one in Ohio, who took an oath, guys, yet had no clue who the redcoats were. Zero clue. When does the fuckery stop? It's not going to stop until the irate few decide to change the course of history. When that happens, the world will change. It will change fast. It'll change in a way that almost seems immoral. And there will be a lot of immoral shit happening. There will be thugs in uniforms, whether military, police, whatever, fighting just people in the name of government because they're ordered to, because they're order followers. What they do. We just seen 2 decades of it in Afghanistan. We just seen over 1 million people killed in Iraq. Back to the gun thing. If your government cares so much about children, what about all the children that were killed in Iraq? What, do they only care about children that are in this country, little racist, I think. They don't care about Afghan children. I mean, how many bombs got to be dropped? I mean, look what it's just the stupidity. It's overwhelming. But there will have to be a time where you personally are going to have to say enough is enough. If you're okay with paying property taxes, more power to you. Although that affects me too. Ooh, about to drop the phone. Although that affects me too. And until you realize that freedom isn't about you, it's about everybody else, you're the problem. I don't do what I do and live how I live because of me. No, it's because of my children. It's because of your children. Because I don't want them to have to deal with what we have, much less it be worse. And I can promise you, on the path we are on, it will be far worse. We know this. We all know this. Yet, we call ourselves patriots to stroke each other's egos as we sit on the couch eating Cheetos, making comments on YouTube, buying blackout coffee with our discount code, as we all do nothing. Well, I'm not in that group. I don't call myself a patriot. Why? Because I haven't done no patriotic shit. Yeah, we live in the greatest time in history to be virtue signaling. It's insanity. But you need to tell yourself where your line's at. You need to stick to it, wherever that line is. And remember, when you're deciding where that line is, your line also affects me. Your line also affects your daughters, your sons, your wives, your neighbors, your parents, the guy you will never meet on the other side of the country. Your line also affects him. The closer you have that line to you, meaning the less shit you're going to take, the more pro freedom you are.